We often get asked by our clients how they can make their videos go viral on social media channels. It's not an easy subject to cover in a short video, and most of the really famous branded content which has gone viral has had a lot of thought in the execution of the video, but also the marketing strategy behind how they're actually going to make that go viral. The Dollar Shave Club is a prime example of this. Last November, we had the opportunity to produce some social media content for our various clients. Now, it just so happened at the time, the Mannequin Challenge was really in the public consciousness. First client that we got to try this out for was Shangri-La at the Shard in London. We were producing some interesting time lapses for them around the hotel and looking at the Shard itself. We managed to get a few people together and make an interesting Mannequin Challenge for them in a very short amount of time. The next client we got to try this out for was Gloucester Quays and their ice rink launch. We whizzed around the ice rink and had people posed in all kinds of different places, falling over, and fortunately I can ice skate so I didn't fall over. Next we moved on to Boomy, and for this one we had a little bit more time to prepare, so there's a tiny bit more narrative to it. We had a chef throwing a tomato at the start and the other chef slicing it midair with his knife. We had a really disgruntled lady out on a date who had tipped a glass of wine over her fella. And then we had a couple of other parties dotted around the restaurant who were mid-conversation, mid-fight, mid-drink, just to make an interesting, engaging Mannequin Challenge which showed off the space and showed off the idea that it's a place to have fun. Finally, we moved on to Tokyo Tattoo. They wanted to ground themselves so that people could see where the tattoo parlour was, so we started off outside with Dino, the owner of the parlour, getting out of his car and then whizzed through, adding in little notes and attentions to detail like a lady with a scarf blowing in the wind, a camera flash paused in time, and then moved into the tattoo studio where Dino had actually run around ahead of me and was now swigging out of a big rum bottle, and then through into the actual studio itself, showing off all of the different facilities and a few of the different tattoo artists. A project like this is really interesting, and if done in the right way, it can help a brand to put itself a step above everyone else who's doing the same thing. Anyone can do this on their phone, but we went in and we did it with DJI Ronin, so we've got a super stable shot. We've also got years of experience framing up shots, so when we're moving around, we're moving between shots. So when we stop the camera and we're looking at something, it's an interesting shot. When we move on to the next shot, it's an interesting shot. We take time to set that up beforehand, and we also know how to frame it up as we're moving. Dynamic movement's quite hard to master, but it does really show when you get good dynamic movement versus just ambiently waving the camera around. When we get to the post-production stage, we actually added some Hitchcock dolly zooms in. So that's zooming into the footage, and then as we move towards someone, we zoom out of the footage and it gives it that vertigo effect. It helped to create a really three-dimensional look to these Mannequin Challenges. The final step was to color grade, so everything looks really polished, and then add in some audio effects. Now we added in the swishes when we speed ramp between the different sections, and that again just helps to give the impression that everything was happening really fast, but at the same time frozen in time. It's a very subtle effect to add on, but when you put it in there with the dolly zoom, the speed ramping between the different subjects, a bit of careful framing, shooting on a camera with a higher dynamic range, so for that we were on the little pocket cameras. Some of them we actually shot raw, so we were able to manipulate the colours even further in post. It helped to give us a really different take on it, but still make it relevant and usable for the clients at the time. And I think that's the most important thing. All of our clients were able to take this video and push it out through their social media channels and get some really amazing statistics with it.